Welcome to the Flora Sage Podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am so freaking excited that you're here. Oh my goodness. So last week we spoke about climbing that damn mountain. We spoke about choosing our heart and figuring out why this time is different for us. Why this time is the time we commit to losing the weight or starting that business or having a better relationship. So this week, we're actually going to talk about something called the process, and we're also going to look at distractions keeping you from the life that you want. I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book called The Daily Stoic that shares a little bit about what this process is. And I quote, "Elite athletes in collegiate and professional sports increasingly follow a philosophy known as the process. It's a philosophy created by University of Alabama coach Nick Saban, who taught his players to ignore the big picture. Again, ignore the big picture, such as important games, winning championships, the opponent's enormous lead, and focus instead on doing the absolutely smallest things well. Practicing with full effort, finishing a specific play, converting on a single possession. A season lasts months. A game lasts hours. Catching up might be 4 touchdowns away, but a single play is only a few seconds. And games and seasons are constituted by seconds. If teams follow the process, they tend to win. They overcome obstacles and eventually make their way to the top without ever having focused on the obstacles directly. If you follow the process in your life, assembling the right actions in the right order, one right after another, you too will do well. Not only that, you will be better equipped to make quick work of the obstacles along that path. You will be too busy putting one foot in front of the next to even notice that the obstacles were there. Again, this is from Ryan Holiday's The Daily Stoic. I want you to think about this. Literally is the 1 degree shift process in a nutshell. Don't worry about the big picture. Yes, that's clear. We want to win the game, or I want to climb that mountain, or I want to start that business, or I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to feel better in my body. I want to get more flexible. Whatever it is, I want to get my blood pressure down. That is the big picture. Yes, that's apparent. That's evident. But the process that you go through, again, you got to figure out, why is this time different, which we talked about in last week's episode. But now you got to give yourself permission to just recognize, I'm just going to take one step. It's kind of like climbing that big staircase. Today, I'm just going to focus on going up one step. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go up that next step. And if you feel energetically enough to do 2 steps in one day, perfect. But give yourself permission to just take that next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. So when you are taking steps, life happens. Life happens. These are distractions. These are things that are pulling you away from your life. This could be TikTok. Maybe you want to have that challenging conversation with someone in your life. And you sit down, you pull out your phone, and you get ready to call that person. And you're like, oh, I'm going to just check TikTok for just a hot second. 2 hours later, that little video comes up that says, hey, you've been scrolling a long time. Why don't you take a break? And you're like, oh shit, I just spent 2 hours on TikTok, or an hour and a half. I don't know how long it is before that thing comes up. I've been there. I'm talking from experience, people, okay? So what do? You put your phone down. You're like, fuck, I just spent 2 hours on TikTok. Now I'm exhausted. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to have that tough conversation with someone. Or I was going to do X, Y, Z. And so what do? Maybe you take a nap or go to bed or get up and make a bowl of popcorn or a bowl of ice cream. Pour a glass of wine. Turn on Netflix or Prime or HBO or Hulu. And you're like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. Maybe the next day you get up and maybe you're hungover from the amount of sugar you had the night before from that bowl of ice cream or from the alcohol or whatever it is. Or maybe you just didn't sleep well. Maybe you kind of tossed and turned, so you wake up and you're feeling a little bit tired. You're just like, you know. And then you think, I really want to go, I really need to lose weight, or I really need to start eating better. Or, I really should send that letter to that person. I really should call that person. I really should hire that coach. And again, we're shitting on ourselves right now because these are all those things that you keep wishing and wanting to do. Even after you made up your mind. That's how these distractions get in the way. But let's just say you sat down and you're like, I'm going to make this phone call. And then you for a brief second think, you know what? I'm going to check TikTok. And then you stop yourself and say, wait a minute. I've been putting this conversation off for 6 months. TikTok can wait, or Instagram can wait, or YouTube, or Facebook, Pinterest, all the things can wait. I'm nervous to have this conversation, but it needs to be had. This is my 1-degree shift for today. So you hold off gratification, you dismiss that distraction, and you dial the number, and you say, hey, so-and-so, how you doing? How's your day been going? Good. Okay. I need to talk with you about something that has been on my heart and mind for the last 6 months, and I feel a little bit awkward bringing this up. However, I just think that it would be a really beneficial conversation for us to have if we spoke about this. And they're going to be like, oh, cool. What do you want to talk about? And you share your truth. You speak whatever it is that you want to speak tactfully. I have a dialogue script in my book, The 1-Degree Shift. If you have a challenging time sharing your feelings, it's a fabulous script. It's in the middle of the book. It's also in the back of the book for quick reference. You share your truth, and then that person is like floored. They're like, wow, I had no idea you felt this way. Thank you for sharing what you did. Thank you. And then you have the best conversation. And you hang up the phone, and you feel so freaking good and so proud of yourself. Now let's just say that one of the things you want to do is start your business. And you realize it's not going to be one of those businesses that, I only need to work 4 hours a week and then I'll be like Insta famous or whatever. You know that it's going to take work. You know that you have to put in the hours. And that kind of scares you. And you know that there's been a coach you wanted to hire, or a class you wanted to take, or a book you want to read, or a podcast you want to binge listen to. So you pick up your phone, or you go to your computer, your laptop, your tablet, and again, that little distraction comes in. Maybe you see that inbox. You've got 20 new emails, or you've got 6 text messages, or notifications on Facebook, or Instagram, or TikTok. What do? That's a distraction. This is, hey, look at me. I'm a little red box with a number in it. Do you want to check me first, or do you want to work toward your dream life? Do you want to get that thing that you've always wanted? You have that choice. That right there, my friend, every time you pick up your device, you have the opportunity to succumb to distraction and delay your dream life, even longer, or delay gratification for a couple of hours or even just a couple of minutes, and stay focused on that one baby step, your 1 degree shift. You could say, you know what, today is the day. I've researched, I've budgeted for my personal development, for my business development, for whatever it is. I have found a coach that I want to start working with, and I am going to do it because I know it's going to be an investment in my future. Or I know that this is the class that is promising the results that I want, and that I know I'm willing to do the work. I know I'm willing to show up. I know I'm willing to consume all the modules and do all the action items. And I know if I have questions, I will go to that coach and ask for clarification and ask for guidance and support. I know if there's a podcast of somebody that I know it just constantly delivers value, I'm going to go listen to that podcast every morning at like 10 a.m. But again, every time you pick up that phone, my friends, there will be distractions. Those distractions are pulling you away from your dream life. They are pulling you away from a life of fulfillment. They are pulling you away from a life of meaning. They are pulling you away from satisfaction. How often do you meet someone who says that they're 100% satisfied with life? 90% of the time, somebody is going to say, oh, I wish I was 5 pounds lighter or 10 or 20 pounds lighter, or I've got this or I've got that. There's something that they still don't have yet. There's something that they keep putting off. Or they say, I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. When I do my 1 degree assessments with people, one of the things that I have them do, because we meet on Zoom, is I have them bring up their usage on their phone and show me. And it is very interesting to see how long they spend on certain platforms. And this isn't to mock or this isn't to shame or whatever, it's to educate. If you don't know how long you spend on your phone in certain apps, go to the screen usage. Go to the screen usage. And you will see how much you spend on certain apps. And think about let's just say that you spend 2 hours a day on TikTok and 20 minutes on Instagram and 45 minutes on Facebook. Somebody add that up. I don't know what that is. Let's just say that it's 4 hours. Okay? It's not. Let's just say it's 3 hours. You've gone down that social media rabbit hole. You've spent 3 hours. 3 hours. Let's just say that you do that every single day. That is 21 hours a week that you have spent on social media. 21, my friends. Think of what you could accomplish in 21 hours. You could listen to 2 or 3 self-help books. You could listen to a whole bunch of podcast episodes. You could consume a course, an entire course, in 21 hours. You could educate yourself on how to be more financially sound, how to actually do investments. You could educate yourself on different communication tactics for marriages or, partnerships. You could listen to intermittent fasting books or intermittent fasting podcasts or keto or Mediterranean diet pie, whatever it is, whatever it is that you want to accomplish or do, you could educate yourself and learn and figure it out. Every single expert was a beginner at one time. Every single expert was a beginner at one time. And how did they become an expert? By removing distractions from their life. Or by delaying gratification and delaying those distractions and saying, yes, Instagram, I see your notifications. Yes, TikTok, I see the notifications. Yes, text messages, I see the notifications. But that will be my reward once I am finished whatever it is that I want to do. Think of how much these distractions have pulled you away from the life that you want. I can't tell you how many times, myself personally, I've been going through challenging times, and you slip into distraction. You slip into, I'm just going to go on to TikTok for 20 minutes. Boom. And when I realized that slipping into distraction was too easy, I set up time limits for each of my social platforms on my phone. Now, I have an iPhone. I don't know. I'm sure Android users have this as well. But I set time limits. And those time limits wake me out of that sleep that sometimes we fall into when we go into social media. And it's just a little reminder. It's like a knock, knock, knock. Hello, you're going down the rabbit hole. Be mindful. And I know I have 15 minutes on each platform every single day. The only day that I do not have limits set are Wednesdays. Those are the days that I batch film all of my content for TikTok. And those are the days that I go live on YouTube. Get to know your goal. Get to know why you want to do what it is you want to do. Get to know and be very clear about why this time is different. And also get to know those distractions that are constantly pulling you away. Constantly pulling you away. Because I'm here to tell you that nobody's going to come save you. Nobody is going to come knocking at your door saying, hey, Sharon, get off of TikTok and go weed your garden like you said you wanted to. Or go walk around the block and get in those 10,000 steps today. Nobody's going to go do that for you. You have to self-regulate. You have to self-discipline. If you want what you say you want, which I believe you do. I mean, trust me. After working with thousands of people over the last 24 years, I can tell you that the majority of the people that I work with, they genuinely, deeply desire that dream life that they have in their mind. I deeply want to live in a cabin up in the mountains. Okay, what's stopping you? I don't know how to do it. Have you Googled, how do I live in a cabin in the mountains? Seriously, there's podcasts for everything, and there's books for everything. You know, if you want to learn how to hula dance and you've never done it, Google, how do you hula dance? You're going to find hours and hours and hours of tutorials on YouTube. There's books, there's retreats, there's vacations. I mean, there's so many ways to learn how to hula dance. If you want to learn how to eat for your body type, how to work out for your body type. I recently have been going to physical therapy for my knee that I messed up. And they did an MRI on both knees. They also did an MRI on my neck and my lower back just to make sure, just to kind of look and see what was going on with everything. And we found some very interesting things in my right knee, which I thought I just had arthritis, but I've got a couple other things going on. And that gave insight as to why certain things were happening when I worked out and when I walked and when I hiked. So my ortho guy said, well, hey, since you have this type of body type, it's easy for you to build muscle, so I'm going to give you these types of exercise, which will help you rapidly build this muscle to help support this part of your knee so that won't happen. Because my knee would give out or it would kind of lock up. And I started to do those exercises and lo and behold, my knee doesn't lock up anymore. What? Who knew? When you delay gratification, because every day Every day I have to do those exercises. Do I want to do them at first? Hell no. I'm like, I really don't want to do these because I wanted to do other things. Because I had to pull out my yoga mat, take those pieces of paper, look at them, watch the video if I never did that exercise before. Had to go through physical therapy once a week at the VA, but I did it. And I wouldn't go on any social media. I wouldn't listen to any podcasts. I wouldn't even meditate, because meditating is like one of my favorite things to do during the day. I wouldn't do any of that until my PT was finished, aka physical therapy. So after I walked my dog, after I ate, pulled out my yoga mat, did my PT, and it only took between 15 and 30 minutes depending on which set of exercise I was doing for that day. Then I did my meditation. Then I had that extra cup of coffee if I wanted it. Then I connected with my clients. Then I did all the things that I wanted to do. And now I don't even think twice about it. I just start my practice with my PT going into my meditation. When you delay gratification, when you focus on and notice, hey, this is a distraction, and you call it out for what it is, your life is going to be completely different. Completely different. Going back to what we were talking about last week, how long have you wanted what you wanted? How long have you wanted to have a better relationship? How long have you wanted to lose that last 10 pounds? How long have you wanted to learn how to manage your money better? Or you wanted to invest? How long have you wanted to start a business? Think about how different your life would be if when you first realized that, let's just say that it's been 10 years or 5 years. I wanted to start a podcast probably 10 years ago, but my excuse was, I don't know how. Imagine that. Like, I've helped people build 7-figure businesses. And my excuse was, I don't know how. But in reality, I didn't feel ready. My why wasn't big enough. And then finally one day, I'm like, I really want to do a podcast. And then I said, okay, how is this time different? Well, this time it's different because I'm leaving Facebook and I still have a message to spread. And where can I spread that message? On a podcast. Okay, perfect. What did I do? I went to Google. How do you start a podcast? I got overwhelmed. I contacted my team and I said, hey, does anybody have any resources for starting a podcast? Oh yeah, let me send some over to you. I looked, I researched. I could have hired somebody to research for me. I mean, I got a team for that, but I really like to do some of that stuff myself. So I allowed myself to use my intuition and feel out the best decision and the best choice for me for a podcast platform. I figured it out and I did it. And now I'm like, damn, it's so much easier than I thought it was going to be. What? But I stopped with the excuses. I stopped getting distracted. And I accepted the process of taking one step at a time. One tiny action. 1 degree of a shift each and every day. Distractions will kill your dreams. Actions bring them to life. So today, again, give yourself permission. And I say this all the time. Those of you who've been following me, I've been saying this forever. Give yourself permission. Why do I say that? Often as kids, we want to do something and we get in trouble for doing it without asking permission. And we get into a habit of doing it. So then what happens as we get older? We don't ask permission. We just sit there and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wonder why everybody else has what we want, And we don't yet have that thing. Because sometimes we feel like we need to ask permission to do those things that we really want to do that feel risky because we've never done them before. Because we might not know how to do them. Because we might fail. But you know what? When you fail, you're not actually failing. You're discovering what doesn't work. Okay, cool. Let's try something else. All right, cool. Let's try something else. You fail again? Boom. Let's try something else. And every single time you try and you fail, like you don't get the result that you think you should be getting, perfect. Now you know what not to do. That is a good thing. That is a good thing to fail. To try something and not get the result that you think. Because then you're like, boom, all right, one more thing that is no longer a mystery. So now I'm going to try something else. And now I'm going to try something else. When you give yourself permission to do the damn thing, you don't have to wait for permission from anybody else. And you start to recognize the power that you hold each and every moment of your life. And that power is strong. That power moves mountains. That power will change your life and will change not only your life, but generations in your family. If you're broke and you want to get out of being broke, you want to get out of that generational poverty, read books on how to build wealth. Read books on money. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Changed my life. I read that book 20 years ago. Changed my fucking life. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is absolute craziness. And then I read The Richest Man in Babylon. Those two books will skyrocket your financial health. Because you will start to look at money completely differently. And you are going to change your generational patterns. Because your children are going to see that shift and that change in your money habits. And you're going to start sharing with them your excitement about what you're learning. And that's going to trickle down. That's going to trickle down. That was one of the things. I was really never taught about money. Never. My dad said, save half, spend half while you're single, while you're growing up, yada, yada. That's what I did. And then through some marriages, I ended up cashing out all my retirement and all my savings, filing bankruptcy back in 95, I think it was. 94. I think it was 95. Rebuilt my credit, got another divorce, cashed in my retirement, all the things. And I was like, damn it. Now, as a mom, I'm like, hell yeah, this is one thing I freaking rock at. I'm an amazing mother. But I felt like the one thing that I dropped the ball on was teaching my kids about generational and lasting wealth. And so what did I do? I started to educate myself. After I filed for divorce from my first husband and we filed bankruptcy and all this stuff, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read it again. And I read it again. The first time it was kind of over my head. Second time I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I read that book 5 times within a year. And then I read another book. And then I read another book. And then I read another book. Because I, come hell or high water, was going to change the trajectory of wealth and money in my family. Did I grow up poor? I don't think so. We always had food on the table. We always had a warm, bed. We grew most of our food. We raised chickens, all that stuff. But I was never taught how to let money work for me instead of me working for my money. I was taught you got to work hard to get the money that you have. And through education, I realized that yes, at first you work hard to get the money that you have and then take the money that you have and invest it and let your money grow through compounding interest and let that money work for you instead of you working for your money. And yes, it does take a hot second to turn that financial bit around. And I got so empowered with money, I actually became a master certified financial coach through Dave Ramsey. Love Dave Ramsey. There are a couple things that I do disagree with him on as far as what bills to have or what debt to have. But I changed my life because I was done. I was done being in that space of poverty. I was on welfare after I, got divorced. I was on welfare. I was on food stamps. And I actually had to decline a raise because that would make me not eligible for welfare and food stamps. And so if I would have accepted the raise, it would have put me deeper in debt because that would have gotten rid of childcare assistance, because childcare assistance was $400 a week. That was my whole paycheck back in the day. My whole paycheck. And that didn't include rent, gas, groceries. So I had to decline that raise, and that killed me. That was the worst. I was shocked because I did the math and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't accept the raise. And they're like, what? And I showed them the math and they were like, wow. They would have had to given me a $5 an hour raise to make up for the difference. And then I would have just been coming out even. And I was like, this cycle ends with me. This cycle ends with me. This is not okay. And money kind of scared me, But I didn't let that fear hold me back. I educated myself and allowed myself to recognize what I didn't know. And I didn't let the distractions get to me. I didn't let the distractions pull me away from my future vision. That future vision, that championship ring of winning the Super Bowl or whatever it is, or having that retirement account, or whatever that looks like for you, that Mount Everest, it starts with a decision that this cycle ends now. And all you have to do is admit it. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to lose weight. I don't know how to have a healthy relationship. I don't know how to communicate well with my partner. I don't know how to balance a checkbook. I don't know how to save. I don't know how to invest. I don't know what a compounding interest account is. I don't know how to hula dance. Whatever it is. I don't know how to cook. Google it. Find a mentor of some sort, whether it's an actual mentor like myself or many other coaches out here, but you better be damn sure that mentor has gotten actual results. Don't just take what they've said, research them. Make sure that mentor you hire, whether it's through direct mentorship one-on-one, or through a podcast, or through a class that they have, or through a book, make sure they actually have the results that you want. If you want to lose 100 pounds, find a coach or mentor who has lost 100 pounds and consume all of their free stuff first and say, has this changed my life by listening and shifting what I know? Have I taken action based on just this free stuff? If yes, think of what the paid stuff is going to do for you. I used to think that I couldn't afford a coach until I had a coach. Now I will never be without one because I know I 10 times my results when I'm with one. Whatever that is, whatever I'm looking to do, whether it's learn how to crochet a blanket or get to that next bracket in my business, whatever it is, I look for someone who has the results that I want. I consume all their free stuff and implement. I just don't listen to it. I implement what they share, what they teach to see if it works for me. And if it does, hell yeah, sign me up. Because I know if I get this result just from their free stuff, I couldn't imagine, I can now, I couldn't imagine what I was going to get with the paid stuff. So give yourself permission to recognize all these excuses, all these distractions, all these notifications, all these stories you have going through your head Well, I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that, and I've tried this, and I've tried that. But yes, and today is another day. Today is another chance. Today is another opportunity for you to figure it out again. Today's another opportunity for you to do a little bit more research. But don't let that be your only thing that you do. Don't just Google. Don't just YouTube. Don't just go to TikTok and search whatever. Find that one person or those two people that you really resonate with their message, and again, that have gotten the same results that you were looking for. Consume their stuff and take action. And y'all know what I'm going to say after this. One baby step. A 1-degree shift taken every single day will change your life. And it's going to change your life exponentially. Exponentially, if you commit to doing it every single day. Now, I got to tell you this, and I've said this in my book, The 1-Degree Shift. You take action, start looking for results. Start looking for what is different. Actively look for what is different in your life. Even put a reminder in your phone. What's different in my life? What's different in my relationship? What is different with my body? What is different with my finances? What is different with my mindset? What is different with my business? When you start implementing these little 1-degree shifts, what is different? And I can guarantee you that you are going to see some differences. You are going to see something shift. And that, my friend, is when you get committed. That is when you stay committed. That is when you realize how easy a 1-degree shift actually is. Ugh, so good. I'm on fire today, you guys. Oh my gosh. So give yourself permission. Don't fucking wait for anybody else to tell you whatever it is. Like, stand in front of the mirror today and say, I can't even talk now. I give myself permission to just do the damn thing. I give myself permission today to go after the dream that I say and that I know and I can feel inside of my body that I want. I give myself permission. I don't have to wait for anybody else to give me permission, because Google is free. YouTube is free. That is no excuse. That is no excuse. Podcasts are free. TikTok is free. But be focused when you do it. Be intentional when you do it. And be mindful of the distractions that will rob you of your life. So stay focused on your 1-degree shift first. Then when you complete it, then go ahead and do all the other things that you want to do. But I guarantee you, if you start today and you get committed and you stay committed, your life will change for the better. If you don't know where to start and you want my support, my help, I'm offering complimentary 1-degree shift assessments. I have a 3-minute quiz, kind of, per se, that I walk you through via Zoom. We'll meet face to face. And I ask you a couple questions. You give me yes or no answers. There's a couple other ones that are a little bit more in depth. And I can laser in and pinpoint your distraction. I can laser in and pinpoint the misalignment. And I will give you and share with you my assessment and give you that exact thing. Oh, well, this is what's going on. Boom. And I'm going to give you the exact 1-degree shift that you can take. No strings attached. These assessments are changing people's lives. So the link is going to be in the show notes. I truly hope this serves you today. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. And I am so excited to see the result of your commitment to yourself and your 1-degree shifts today and over the next however many days you choose to do them. All right, I love you, my friend. Remember, all you have to do is commit to a little tiny 1-degree shift every single day to create and have the life you have always dreamed of and always desired. I hope this serves you today. I will see you back here in the next episode. Mwah! Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.